Tuesday, the San Antonio Spurs and Miami Heat completed a trade where the San Antonio Spurs received former Spur Dewayne Dedmon and a 2028 second-round pick from the Heat, and the Heat received cash considerations from San Antonio. So let's go through a quick breakdown of this trade. This is more so very similar to the trade that the Spurs just completed a few weeks ago when they traded for Noah Vonleh from the Celtics in order to get draft assets. And in this case, Dedmon's not going to probably stay on the team is what it looks like. So I'll get into more information on that. So again, he's not a player who's going to end up probably being on the roster. But for the Spurs, they're basically using their cap space right now that they have open to try to take in contracts that other teams don't want, and then to try to get some draft assets in the process of doing that, because they are several $1 million below the salary floor. So let's go ahead and dive into why the Spurs and the Heat completed this trade. For Miami, it was more so a financial move to kind of stay under the tax for them. And so where the Spurs' roster looks like now is they have now 15 players on guaranteed contracts with Dedmon on the team. We do want to note that they had a vacant open roster spot once Gorgui Dieng's second 10-day contract had run out. So they were able to just absorb Dedmon's contract because they also have so much cap space, and his contract was for $4.7 million. Now, for this season, Dedmon does have that deal of $4.7 million. In the offseason, if he were to remain on San Antonio, which doesn't look very likely, he would have a non-guaranteed contract for next season, with the Spurs need to decide on by June 25th. So according to Bobby Marks of ESPN, the Spurs, after making this move, are $14.7 million below the salary floor. And right now they do have $22.2 million of cap space available. So again, they're going to be a team who we expect to be still very active in this trade deadline week, trying to get deals, maybe smaller deals like what we just saw, where they're trying to get a contract like Dedmon's, and then in order to get like a second round pick, or they could maybe help a team if they need to move a larger contract. They're one of those teams who are going to be able to do that. So the reason why we say that Dedmon may not be on the Spurs for that long is because Jeff McDonald of the San Antonio Express News did report that the Spurs do not intend to keep Dedmon. So unlike Vonleh, when the Spurs traded for Vonleh, they immediately traded for him, then they waived him. In this case, they're going to try to see if they can try to flip Dedmon for more draft assets. So again, they're going to probably try to hold on to Dedmon until Thursday on the roster and see if they can try to get another trade where they get some draft capital. And if they can't, well, then they probably end up just waiving him, like I mentioned there. And then he ends up being an unrestricted free agent and able to sign with any team that he would like to. So that's kind of just a quick wrap up of this trade that went down on Tuesday between the San Antonio Spurs and Miami Heat. And just again, we may see more similar deals like this Dedmon one, like that Noah Vonleh deal, where the Spurs are getting second round picks for contracts that teams are trying to shed before that trade deadline does approach on Thursday, because the Spurs, like we said, are still $14.7 million below the salary floor, and they have $22 million in cap space. So for Project Spurs, I am Paul Garcia.